Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to the Bundesliga Fantasy Football Show. Tuning in again on a Friday morning, a cold Friday morning here, as we look ahead to another weekend of Bundesliga football. Feels like it's been a very busy week with all the football that's been happening midweek, with Pokal action, shows to record, etc. So we're back at it and looking forward to more footy, which is brilliant. Joined this morning by Rune on the other end of things. How are you, good sir?
I'm good, thanks. As you say, it's been an interesting week with a lot of cup action as well, some interesting games there. But this is the highlight of the week, of course, putting together your fantasy squad. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, absolutely. Very well put indeed. So yes, sit back and enjoy with us. And yes, by all means, please do get very much involved, which is very much the basis of this show is your interaction with it. Before we get cracking, please, if you can leave a like on this video. Like I say, great community that we have, and those likes really help as well. And of course, comments, whether live or otherwise, and sub to the channel. As I said on the prediction show, we've hit our target of 1.5k, which is brilliant. 1,500 subs on YouTube, that is. So that's lovely. That's brilliant. Thank you, everyone, and we hope to keep on building from this point onwards. And of course, make sure to go check out Bulinews, whether it's via socials or directly onto their website for all fantasy football articles, previews, reviews, long reads, the lot. So make sure you get over to Bulinews to check out all your German football content in English. But we will crack on with the show. So as per tradition, we'll start off with defenders. And Rune, your budget, mid-price, and premium picks for this week, if you will.
Yeah, thank you. My budget pick this week is Matthias Ginter from Freiburg. Had a really good game against Mainz last week. Freiburg generally dominated that game completely. Ginter was really involved, got points in a lot of different ways, produced an assist, of course, but also won a lot of duels and took part in the passing play as well. Yeah, so we got 340 points that game. Really solid, especially for the price. And they won again in midweek, Freiburg in the Pokal. So they're in good form at the moment, and now they're playing Heidenheim, who are one of the weakest sides in the league, we have to say, this season. So always makes sense to look at who are facing Heidenheim. And I think for the price, it's a quite solid option this week. And moving on to my mid-price pick, I've gone with Sugawara from Werder this week. He's a player who I really enjoy watching play. Actually, he's pretty physical player, likes to go forward and swing in crosses, and he's already been involved in goals, especially in assists. And Werder have a game against HSV coming up. Could be a good game for them fantasy-wise as well for some of their players, including Sugawara, also Romano Schmid, for example. So if you're looking for an alternative to Muheim from HSV, who remains a good option, just a bit more expensive though, I think Sugawara is a really interesting pick and good differential as well. And finally, my premium pick is David Raum, who we have talked a bit about on the show previously. The fact that previously we've talked about that maybe his price was a bit too high for what he actually delivered. But if you look at his most recent displays, I think he's been worth the price. It's really good form at the moment. Three returns above 200 points in a row. And he was actually a bit unlucky not to score against Gladbach last week, with his shot hitting the inside of the post that game. So it could have been even more, an even more productive week for him. Now Leipzig are playing Eintracht. On paper is a bit of a tricky fixture, but then on the other hand, Eintracht are still without some of their key players up front. So not really the same side as they were early in the season, I think. And that's why and at the same time, I'm quite impressed with how Leipzig play, not just in defense, but also up front. Really playing some good football this season, I think. So I think Raum is, remains a good option if you don't have him already. His ownership is 18%, which is okay, but could have been higher actually. How well performed lately.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for those there, Rune. I was just whizzing through social media to see if we've had any questions on there, which I can't see. So we will just refer to the live chat for anything that's coming in. And we have something from a friend of the show and regular Sard. So good morning to you. And thank you for this question and thank you for tuning in. Saw Grimaldo looked very jaded towards the end of the game against BVB in the Pokal. You think he will maybe be rested this weekend? Rune, obviously, looking at the fixture, looks very advertising from a Leverkusen point of view. So do we think Starman Grimaldo could be given a bit of a rest?
I don't think so. For me, there's no indication that he'll be rested. Usually starts every week, only rarely gets a break. Got one against Bayern some weeks ago now, but otherwise he's just so important for Leverkusen, not just from a footballing perspective, but also mentally. He's one of their leaders, and also I think I also noticed that he picked up a knock against Dortmund and took some time to get back up on his feet. But at the time, Leverkusen were defending a 1-0 lead and had no intention to rush things at all. They could just take their time at the moment, and I think that played a part too. Didn't look like anything serious to me, but I think if he has a problem, if there's a bit of a knock there, then I think hopefully Hjulmand will help us out and mention it in his pre-match press conference.
Indeed, yes. So expectations would be that Grimaldo starts pending anything that perhaps is shared, as Rune said, by Kasper Hjulmand. So thank you for that one, Sard. We will just move straight on then to midfielder picks, gladly. So they're now on screen for you. So back over to you, Rune, for midfielder picks. And obviously in the meantime, if you do have any questions, midfield, defender, midfield, or forwards, don't be shy and pop them in the comments.
I think a lot of people sold their Leverkusen midfield assets last week because they had a tricky fixture against Dortmund. Those who sold Masa probably regretted that decision because he still did extremely well, 323 points in that game, despite the fact that Leverkusen lost and it was a tricky fixture. And of course, he scored again. He scored in midweek and played a key role again there for Leverkusen as they got some revenge against Dortmund and sent them out of the cup. So at the moment, he's just a really informed player. He's really grown in importance for Leverkusen. One of the most important players at the moment, I'd say. They're playing Augsburg and Köln in the next two. His price tag is really low given the role he plays for Leverkusen. So at the moment, I think it's hard to find better value for money. But if you are going to find another player who's maybe more attractive this week in that sort of price bracket, it would be Said Almala from Köln. We all know what he's capable of now. He's shown that plenty of times already, despite his young age. A special player who can make a difference on his own. And Köln are playing a home game against St. Pauli. Pauli just got a win in the cup, which may have boosted them their morale a bit, but nevertheless, it's a home game for Köln, and I think Almala could really step up there again and hurt that Pauli defense. So even if Köln don't win, I still I could still see him do some real damage in that game. And yeah, again, his price is not even high at all. It's also mid-price option, so another good pick, I think, in that price category. And yeah, then finally wanted to mention Amiri, because he's coming back from suspension. His ownership is a bit low now, and of course, my fellow Dane Bo Henriksen lost his job at Mainz.
Right.
So yeah, after a really tough period and disappointing results, will be interesting to see if there will be a bit of a manager bounce playing Gladbach tonight. And Gladbach have a lot of injuries, especially up front. They're missing some key players, including Frank Honorat, for example. So I think Amiri will be returning from suspension, should be fired up to come in and make a difference, as we've seen so many times. So in a way, I could see Mainz maybe pick up the win there in that game. Either way, they're playing at home. They're playing to prove something. Maybe also out of respect for Bo Henriksen to show, their real faces for him and the type of play that they showed last season. So I think they have there's a few Mainz players worth considering. I also think Lee is an interesting pick in midfield. He's really cheap at the moment, costs just about 4.5 million maybe, and he played out of position as a striker in last games under Bo Henriksen. Not sure he'll continue in that role, but nevertheless, I think Mainz could be a team if you're willing to take a bit of a chance and get some differentials in. I think they're a team to consider this week.
Yeah, possibly with the, like you say, the occasional new head coach bounce, interim head coach bounce that the teams often seem to get. Interesting that you kind of say as Mainz maybe offering a bit of respect to Bo and playing well. I see it as the opposite. I see it as a really disrespectful thing when teams play really well after a manager's been sacked, because they can do it. It's quite clear that they can do it. And I've seen this countless times with Man United teams in the last 10 years. Woe is me and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, I find it super frustrating.
What I meant was more that maybe the players feel somewhat guilty of the sagging, and they feel like maybe now because it seemed like they had a really good relationship with their coach, many of them.
Yeah,
so maybe now they feel like, okay, damn, that was a shame that he got that sack, and we feel kind of responsible for that. So at the very least, now we need to turn up but I totally get your point, but that was what I meant, at least to show him that we can actually do this, and he deserved better in a way.
No, I agree with what you're saying in that sense, absolutely. We'll see this evening. I think it will be a tight match, and like you say, Gladbach missing particularly Frankie Honorat, the way that they attack through him is really important to the way that Gladbach play. So that is a blow for sure. One question in here, comment from Saad. Thank you for this one, is around El Canoes and whether he is a keep or sell against Bayern this weekend, of course, ahead of the Sud derby and the Nord derby, where we have both North and South derbies this match week. But yeah, tricky game for Stuttgart. We were obviously talking about it, Oltan and I, on the prediction show. And just debating how Stuttgart will go in this one. Have my hopes, but ultimately Bayern is always that tricky game, and one that El Canoes might not get too much of the ball either.
Yeah, he's a sell for me, also because of the alternatives in midfield who have better matchups. You could get Amiri for the same price. You could get Garcia from Leverkusen, or you could get Massa and spend that money elsewhere. The money you save from getting him in. Also, Freiburg have some really interesting options. Mansambi, Grifo, for example.
Yes.
Just couldn't mention them all, but I think I'm actually finding it a bit difficult to get all the assets I want in midfield this week, with a lot of the players having really good matchups, and obviously El Canus has a really difficult one. So he's a sell for me.
So does it, with that in mind, Rune, does it feel like a weekend for a formation allowing for 5 midfielders?
Could be either that or maybe 3-4-3. I've also considered going with 3 strikers this week. Basically because I got Luis Diaz last week and I still have him and Kane. So yeah, I need to have these 2 starting. And then there's another 3rd striker that I really like as well. Would really like to be on the pitch, but it's probably either that or 3-5-2 for me this week, because of all the good midfield assets.
Yep, lovely stuff. Interesting to get your thoughts on that one. Let's have a look at another comment that's come in here from Mike. Thank you for this one. Are you concerned at all about a Marza rotation with Andrik replacing him and Kwanzaa as a defender? Good question here from Mike. Rune, but I suppose as you kind of alluded to earlier, he at the moment feels like he's holding a lot of importance for Leverkusen.
Yeah, I'm not concerned about that, because at the moment it's just working really well with Marza and Garcia, and I think central midfield was actually one of the key issues and one of the parts of the team where they had the biggest problems early in the season. Things just didn't seem to click with Andrik there, playing alongside Garcia. So I think I could rather see Andrik starting at the back instead of Kwanzaa, and then Marza continuing. I think that would, unless he's super tired, I think that would be the logical thing to do for Hjulmand, because Garcia and Marza just seem to work really well together at the moment.
Yeah, thank you for that question. Though Mike, lovely stuff. We shall finally move on to our strikers, which are also now on screen for you, from a budget, mid-price and premium point of view. So back over to you, Rune.
Yeah, starting off with Nilsson Weiber as my budget pick. He's been out of the team for some time now under Bo Henriksen, which is a bit strange in a way, because I feel like Weiber is the type of striker that would usually thrive in Bo Henriksen's philosophy and playing style. But for some reason, he's not been playing a lot of football lately. And that could change now, because clearly he's a very talented player. We saw that at the under 21 Euros, for example. And he also showed that last season. He's a great target man. And if they need a real striker, if the interim coach decides to change things and actually go with a real target man up front, I think it would make a lot of sense to give Weiber a chance. And fortunately for us, it's the Friday night game, so we can see if he starts. And if he does, he costs just about 1 million, and playing at home against Gladbach, it's an okay fixture. For Mainz, as we talked about earlier, they'll be looking to get back, with a win, to bounce back. And if you go with a 4-4-2, for example, he would be an excellent player to have on your bench if you want to save some money and spend that elsewhere on expensive midfield assets, for example. So for that price, I think he's worth considering if he starts. Mid-price pick is Jan Diomande, one of the most hyped players in the league at the moment, and deservedly so. Really interesting player. He's made an instant impact at Leipzig. And if you look at his returns, 5 returns in a row above 200 points. So he's just producing really consistent returns at the moment, even when he doesn't produce an assist or get on the score sheet. Still seems to do well. And his price is fair. I'd say 8.5 million. It's not that much to pay for such an informed player. So he's the player I'm considering bringing in as my third striker this week. And yeah, it's either I'll start him and go 3-4-3 or I'll go 3-5-2. But definitely a player I could see do well again this week, because why not? And yeah, then finally Patrick Schick as my premium pick. He was given a rest in midweek against Dortmund. So I'm expecting him to return to the starting 11 against Augsburg. And yeah, Augsburg just sacked Sandro Wagner, so difficult to say what state they'll be in. Similarly to Mainz, they may also look to show reaction. They have a new coach with some Manuel Baum taking over on an interim basis with some new ideas. That could be benefit for them, but nevertheless, they've struggled a lot, especially at the back. I think they've had some games where they've just conceded so many goals. So it looks like a good game for Schick on paper at least, and his price is not even that high. It's actually ridiculously low for what he delivers. And as we saw against Heidenheim in the 6-0 game a few weeks ago, he's capable of producing amazing returns, and he's one of the few players who can get a hat-trick at times, for example. If things click for him, that is possible. Almost happened against Heidenheim. So another good player for the price, I think, up front.
Yep, absolutely. Lovely stuff. Thank you for that, Rune. I don't think there's, certainly not any more comments to pick up right now in the live section. I don't think any more have come in on socials. So with that in mind, we can draw this morning's show to a close. Nothing on X either. Lovely stuff. So, slightly shorter show this morning. So thank you all for watching. So we will close up shop now. So just before we do, as per, if you can leave a like on this video, that'd be fantastic. If you've not been able to watch us live this morning, please do leave a comment. If you have a question or two ahead of the Friday deadline this evening, and we will make sure that we tend to those as quickly as we can do, and sub to the channel. And of course, go follow us on all social media that we are currently covering, which is pretty much all of them, at the Bundesliga Show, or just search the Bundesliga Show. We promote all our content on there, so you never miss out on a show in the future. Lovely stuff. Thank you all for watching. Thank you, as per, Rune, for your help and guidance through match week 13 of the Bundesliga. Enjoy it when it comes, and have a lovely weekend all. Catch you then. Cheers all.
Bye.